Howdy, and welcome to Painting Our Monsters. Today I thought we would just do a little underpainting. I got a mountain of mulch delivered to my front yard this week, and it's taken up every inch of spare time, but fortunately I recorded this beforehand, so I'm able to share this with you. Underpainting is a great technique I recommend everybody practice in, where you just try to get paint and color on that canvas as quick as you can. You can come back and do some details later. You can see the details for this painting in last week's, and there will be a link for that, but down in the comments. But now, all I'm doing here is just laying in some color. So I just want to see what's it look like with a dark sky. This was the first night painting I did for this series for season 1, and I wanted to see what would that look like. So all I'm doing in there is just laying in some sky. Again, just coming in and putting in some blue. I'm taking some risks in underpainting. So I'm putting in a coastline and thinking, how do we achieve depth and distance? And I'm thinking that we can do that by showing that swoop of the beach. I like to put in different colors in my water just to give the appearance of illusion. Now, one thing with this beach is that it's going to have the right angle of the waves, and that's a problem. But it's underpainting, so those are the kind of details we can deal with later. Right now, I'm just trying to get a feel for the horizon. I know I want some trees back there to separate the sky from the water, so I'm just trying to put in some indication of that. And now I realize, oh, those are too big. You know, the trick is going to be the farthest trees, the ones farthest out there, are going to be smaller. And then as we get closer to the right side of the painting, we can let the trees get bigger, which makes them appear to be more in the foreground. Maybe we can stick a little mountain back there, push that further back, make that look like that's behind this line of trees. But then more importantly, see, we put those trees behind a forest here up in the foreground, or the middle ground, and that kind of pushes them all back. Now I'm trying to achieve that beach. It's like we're up high on a hill looking down, and the beach is right below us, but we can also see it way into the distance. So I'm seeing, does that effect work? And I kind of like how it turned out. I think it does kind of look like we're looking up down at a coastline into the distance. To make it a little bit more convincing, we just put in some more layers. So I'm just laying in a couple layers here to show, okay, these are closer to us. We need some more detail, but similar shapes and colors to what we're seeing back there. I'm also thinking about having a limited color palette on this painting because it's nighttime. That's why we can see that starry sky. Eventually I'm going to go back up in there and put in all sorts of nebulas and stars and all that. So that means I'm trying to think what can I do with less colors. And so I'm really only using one color of green and a little bit of yellow and trying to keep it kind of dim. Now, one thing y'all know I love doing is putting in some of these little artifacts of mankind, so I thought I would try to do a chain link fence. I think chain link fences are something we're all familiar with, so I just wanted to try to put those in, but just using the edge of the knife and see how that comes across. One good thing about putting in an element like this is it immediately pushes things to the background. It immediately gives us a sense of scale. We all know how big a chain link fence is, and so once you stand in front of one, you can tell, well, so, you know, any trees near here are going to be of a certain size, and things past that are going to fit into that scope. So I just think they're fun and a little bit of a challenge and kind of fun to work with. This one is way out of scale, but it's, like I said, it's underpainting, so not a big deal. And now we take some risks. Now it's time to put in our kaiju. My first thought on this one was some sort of a thing that's been washed up, so I'm just trying to put a little bit of a form out there. And just going along a bit at a time. I normally have sketches of these guys all over, and sometimes I'll pick one particular for a painting, and sometimes I just kind of go with it. And with these underpaintings, it's really fun to just kind of let it flow and let it move. So I just start with a body shape and then try to give it some legs and see what I can accomplish. I'm trying to see if I can get it to look like it has arms washed up on shore there, but I don't think that was very effective. I think it doesn't really look like an elbow, so now I'm pivoting and trying to add in some more legs and some more indication of some more stuff going on. I'm thinking of it's like a crustacean, but you know, it could also kind of be like a squid sort of inspired creature, so I'm putting that in there too. I also put in a little bit of water because it's important that when the water comes across the landscape that it all fits together and blends together. So this water here, it looks kind of like a still lake, because it has that horizontal marking to it. But it doesn't look to me like a sea coming into a shore. So that's something I'm thinking about and experimenting here with this beast. If we're going to have an effective painting, we're going to have that element working and coming in on the coastline. I think that's an important thing to consider. But doing these underpaintings is a lot of fun. I really recommend them because they just let you take risks and try things out, and you just know you're going to paint over it. Also, painting on acrylic paint is easier than painting on canvas for me, so this kind of works as a way of priming the canvas and just lets the paint come on real slick later. You can completely go over these or just touch up areas. If something works real well, then you could just leave it as is. But for me, this is an opportunity to really be creative on a canvas and really free yourself and know you're going to try to do this as quick as you can and see what you can accomplish. And I would like you to try that too and see what you can do with the underpainting. And remember, our world is what we make it.